One of the biggest issues facing America's youth is their lack of outdoor activities. Kids today have a growing health issue. I believe that this is something that we can change today. If we make one small change daily, then within a few months, we can be back on track to a better America, not only for us, but for our kids. It's such an important thing to make this change, and being outdoors has many negative effects. For starters, it increases stress levels. One study found that the cortisol, the hormone that induces stress, is at a higher level for those that stay indoors more often. Even spending as few as 5 minutes outdoors can help decrease stress levels. The sedentary lifestyle can lead to obesity and heart issues later in life, as well as depression and attention deficit disorder from being indoors and not actively using your brain. It becomes the norm for people, and it is viewed as something that is okay to do. It's easier than arguing with your children, especially when they're throwing a temper tantrum. Many people would rather keep their kids inside because the parents know they're inside, they're staying out of trouble, or they're safe from the dangers outside, whether this is from environmental issues or from strangers. There are other negative effects to staying inside as well. It can lead to lack of life skills from doing nothing but spending time with yourself, even if you have siblings. The chance that both of you will end up staying in your separate rooms is still very likely. You also don't get the socialization skills that you need. This can lead to problems later in life when you're going to find a job, or even when you're trying to make friends. I used to go out in my neighborhood and find friends, but I can't do that anymore. There are many things we can do to stop this cycle. The pattern starts at home with our parents. It is our duty to set a good example for our kids. After all, they can't get up and go anywhere anytime they want. It is up to the parents to start early and often and keep them outside. Now, this doesn't mean that we have to go out every day or hike up a mountain. I know that parents have lives and jobs, and they need to make sure everything's taken care of. But some of the things we can do is help our children, get outside by limiting their screen time. Generally, kids throw a fit until they get their way, and it's easier as a parent to just give in because you have to pick your battles with them. However, this can show them that they argue, they'll eventually get their way. As parents, we have to put our foot down and help show them how much fun it can be outside. We could also start by opening more volunteer time to kids in places like animal shelters, homeless shelters. Many places will either not allow anyone under 18 to volunteer, or they'll only allow them to if the parent has to be present. So, if the parent doesn't want to do any of this, then the child's still stuck at home. This goes back to the parents needing to be being more involved, but I'll get into that later. One of the things we could do is increase school programs for the kids. In the beginning at kindergarten, everything's focused on socialization and learning basic life skills with getting along with their kids. As it progresses, it turns into academic focus. While that is needed, I still think we need to find a focus on non academic things so that way they can go out, they can socialize more. One of the other fun things we could do is bring back backyard camping. You can get a cheap tent, you can grill out and tell stories under the stars, even get a telescope and pick out constellations. This way, the kids are getting fresh air, you're going to spend time with them. You can use this time to teach your kids about nature and get back to connecting with your kids on a better level, on a basic level, and learning things about them. Another really fun way, get a neighborhood get together, have a treasure hunt. You could get many different parents together, have them each hide items in their bushes, make it a fun theme, give the kids clues to find things on. This is great, especially when kids are really huge into video games. This can turn the game into being outside and finding things. You could also do a photo safari. So you make a list of things in your area or a park that the kids can find. You can do this with museums. There's so many different options. But you could also turn it into another learning experience for your kids. Give them a camera and give them a list of things to find. And, it gets their minds going and turns being outside into a fun game. You can also plant a garden. This gives them the chance to continually go outside to tend it, plus the life skills of learning how to plant different types of food and how to keep, say, animals out of it and things like that. Then go outside, pick the weeds out. It's great for kids to watch it grow, and they get the reward of getting the food out of the garden. Plus, you're saving money, and you've got great organic food. These are just a few ideas on how we can get our children outside. If we just put our minds to this, I'm sure there are hundreds of thousands more ideas that can be used to help get kids outside and increase their happiness, as well as building a better tomorrow for them. If we as adults don't stand up now, the problem will just get worse. I'm guilty of it as well with my daughter, but sometimes it happens as adults. But we still need to get back to it. There's an old saying that it takes a village to raise children. I feel this completely accurate. Whether it's aunts and uncles, friends, grandparents, there are many people that come together to mold kids into who they grow up to be. Even sometimes in neighborhoods, the kids freely play from one child's house to another's. So all of those parents are involved in the activities of their kids. It would be so easy to use it at a large scale. This may require a change for the parents. I know that once we get set in our ways, it's hard to change. However, if we cannot change ourselves, how can we expect our children to make changes to themselves? Children grow through watching their parents and even learn the smallest of habits from them. Even the just little tiny ways they talk, the way they walk, everything like that is picked up from their parents. It is a topic that's very close to me because I have a 16-year-old daughter. She doesn't want to go outside. She, like many other kids, wants to be inside, watch YouTube. It's a constant struggle to get her to leave her room. Unfortunately, we do that a lot, but there are always options that I have included in this presentation as well as many other options and programs for kids. A lot of parents, especially as their kids get older, allow them to just stay home. Even when they have to run small errands, just going to the grocery store. It's used as an easier solution because they've spent so many years keeping them at their hip. However, this is a problem because you're missing out on that wonderful interaction with your kids and even just the ability to talk about their day with them and just spend that extra little bit of time with them. I don't take my child everywhere with me, but I do try to make sure that at least once a week we get out of the house together. It helps with her anxiety, her stress levels, but I also build a closer relationship with her. This is the Coca Cola Space Museum, as seen here. And we walked around outside. We had a great day that day. And as you can see, big smiles all around. But we connected. Um, so many parents don't know what's going on with their children. Even younger children don't seem to talk to their parents anymore about what's going on, even if it's a day to day thing. It's become such a norm. Kids go to school, they come home, they do their homework, they come out for dinner, then they go straight back to their room and to the bedtime routines. So many missed opportunities. How can they grow without our guidance? We need to get back to the outdoors. Make being outside as fun as being indoors, playing games, or watching TV. Make it a challenge for the kids. Find ways to change their future for the better. This is more important because they're the ones making the decisions after we're gone, and we need to instill a strong foundation, not only for them, but for their children's children.